Good morning and welcome. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it's lovely to welcome you in on, if you're here with me live, a sunny Friday morning in August. And we have actually had a bit of rain this week, but we're back to some sunshine again this morning, but not quite as hot as it has been. So we are here to do some crafting with you this morning. So it is lovely to have you join me. And let me bring up my slide. This is my website, www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and that's the place where you can go and find out a bit more about me, get lots of inspiration. There's been quite a few blog posts go up this week and some more scheduled over the weekend, so do go and check those out. Go and get inspired. You'll find links to my shops, find links to my classes. All of those sorts of things are over there on my website, so do go and hunt those out. You can sign up for my newsletters. You can sign up to be informed when new blog posts go up, when they're posted. So do find all of those things over on www.loveaduckie.co.uk, and wherever you are looking for me on social media, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all of those places. If you look for Love-a-Duckie, that is where you will find me. So do go and head over and find those things. Do pop on and say hello if you are joining me live, or if indeed you are joining on catch up. It's always lovely to know who's here with us, who's watching along, and who's watching after the event. So it's always nice to catch up with you all and to touch base with you all. So do that. And obviously, if you have any questions, any queries as we go along, do shout. And if I do happen to miss them, I will always try and go back in and answer afterwards. So let us, morning Lisa, let's bring in my downward facing camera. Now this morning is going to be, who knows what's going to happen. I have no idea where we're going to go this morning, but I know what we're going to be playing with, and what we're going to be playing with is this Regal Reindeer bundle. Now mine has not come out of the case yet, so I have definitely not. Morning Emma, and morning Jane. I've not played with this previously, but it is one of the bundles that really caught my eye when I first opened up this July to December catalogue. So you've got these two cute little reindeers. We've got a little rabbit in there as well. A little person. I expect it could be a little girl or a little boy, depending on what you wanted to make them. There with a holding, it's an apple, I think, in her hand. Yeah. You've got this tree. You've got some sort of sparkly stars and things, some really nice sentiments, wishing you a wonderful season filled with all the good things that warm your heart and lift your spirit. You've got a Merry Christmas there and a Peace on Earth. So a lovely little set. And then you've got a set of dies that go with it, and we'll look at these in a bit more detail. But as you can see there, you can build up some really detailed reindeers just from your dies. They've got that sort of embossed detail, giving you eyes, things. Got that little fox there with his scarf on. Got nice trees in the background. So you've got some really nice things that you can build up just using the dies without using the stamps at all. So a great little set that we are going to play with. And if we flick to the back, there's always another sample at the back. And this one you can see where they've coloured in those reindeers, added that little rabbit in a snowy scene in the back there. So lots of scope, and you do get a bit more of an idea of the dies there. You've got lots of little things. You've got baubles for your trees. You've got presents that you can build up. You've got harnesses and things for the reindeer. Lots and lots of little detail in there. And so here are the stamps and the dies ready to go. You can see there you've got your reindeer and your fox. You've got, this is the bow for your present. The present itself is just here. You've got the outline dies to cut out those stamped images, baubles, little spots, little dots. Yeah, you've got your outline die for your little child, some stars, scarf in there. You've got your rabbit. So yeah, lots of little detailed dies in there, as well as having a couple of sort of backgroundy horizon type dies. So this one could be, it could be a cloud, but it could also just be building up that snowy background. Yeah, so great set. But as you can see, when I open it up, as yet completely untouched. So as is often the case, we are going to be exploring this bundle for the first time together. Always good, isn't it? Right, so what shall we do? I have grabbed a few sort of Christmassy papers. Whether we'll bring those in, I don't know. We will see how we go. The painted Christmas 12 by 12 papers was one that was carried over from last Christmas. And this has got some quite nice sort of generic Christmassy papers in it. That might be quite a good starting point. I quite like that one. Might do something with that one. A quick look at the colours: evening evergreen, garden green. Yeah, I might need to go garden green. I also just grabbed, what did I do with those? I just grabbed the deckled rectangles as well. Might do something with those. Let's have a play. I'm going to grab some garden green cardstock and some soft suede cardstock, and we'll have some white. Have a look. Garden green, soft suede. Basic white. As we get ourselves ready, I don't know what sort of a day you've all got ahead of you. I've got quite a busy one. I've got a big to-do list today. Lots to do, and not sure how many hours in the day, how the hours in the day are going to stretch to accommodate it. But I'm sure we'll work it out somehow. Come in. I think I'm going to make a garden green hard base. Let's cut that in half one way, score it in half the other. Make your standard card base. And let's take some of this designer series paper. We'll make a mat of that. So for me, that's going to be 14.4 by 10. We're using imperial sizes, better size cardstock. That will be 5 1/4 by 4. Let's have that on there. I'm going to take these deckled rectangles. I think we'll go that one. That one. So I am going to make a soft suede frame, but I'm also going to cut out a piece of the basic white. Just thinking Make a frame like that out of soft suede, and that for white for the piece to go in the middle. So let's sort that out. I've got a smaller piece of white. Just run that through the machine. The largest and the smallest to start with. Let's just those bits just there. Cut ourselves a bit of basic white. We just pop these dies back on here. Take away these excess pieces. And I think we're going to have this card come this way. Oh, beach and then a splash park. Sounds nice, Emma. So it sounds as if you've got slightly better weather than you had earlier in the week for your holiday. Right, let's take this piece that is going to be our sort of canvas. Some balmy blue ink. I'm going to use a blending brush. And add some balmy blue ink in here. I'm not particularly worried about it going all the way down to the bottom because I do want a bit of a snowy scene on the bottom. Going to dig out. So in our mini catalogue, we do have a pack of red and white glimmer paper, perfect for your Christmassy projects. So let's bring a bit of that white out. And let's have a look at these dies that are going to give us sort of a landscapey type, snowy landscape effect. So I'm going to cut some of that in white glitter card. Now for the bigger one, this die, as you can see, has got a raised edge on the top, but no raised on the bottom. So it is just going to cut that top edge. So depending on how deep you want your snow, will depend whereabouts on the card you're going to, how far up on the card you're going to lay that cut edge. And then we've got this little bit here that I will just, I'll turn it round actually and just lay it in there. So let's cut that. catapulted them onto the floor. So let me cut that piece off. My other piece behind. So you can see how this piece, we could have it sort of on the top to give a bit more, a couple of them on there. We can also tuck it behind there to give a little bit more of a hillocky type effect in the top, in the background, which is what I think we're going to do. This is obviously longer than our piece of card. Let's decide where we want those to go. About like that. There we have some sparkly frosty snow. It's going to sit in our frame. I'll trim that down when I stick it on. So we've got a bit of a snowy landscape building up just there. Got these nice little trees. I think we'll die cut a couple of those. And I think we might go, we're going to go with a die cut reindeer for this one. I think we might. We might even have our little fox. A couple of trees. And we will take this sort of snowy, one of these snowy stamps to add some detail in the background. So let me find some cardstock to cut out our reindeer, some cardstock for our book. And I'm thinking reindeer colours, we either want to go something like plum cake, we could go Sahara sand, could possibly go grey granite. Let's go plum cake. Perfect. We'll have some boxy colour, Asian craze. My bag of real red seems to have gone walkabout. Let's have a little bit of Asian craze. Let's find something a bit smaller, that one I think. Our little fox. We'll do a couple of garden green trees. just run those through. So reindeer, tree, fox. And there's the reindeer. There's a tree. There's a fox. That's another tree, and I want a bit of white reindeer. So I'm going to put another reindeer in white. A ghostly reindeer. Left the tree behind. Let's cover that up. Hi Beth. Thank you for sharing. Right, so what I want this reindeer for is you've got this detail here that sort of gives this bit of, I don't know, what would you call it, chest hair? I'm just going to snip that off. Now then, how far would you like that to come? I think perhaps just going to curve it round just there. Curve it a little bit more actually. In this sort of white section just there. So you've got lots of lovely detail on this die. I don't know how well you can pick that up. He's got his eye and sort of the detail around his ears and nose and legs. Likewise with the trees, sort of quite 3D. You've got all these pop-out elements on them. So rather fun. And the little fox, again, has got a little eye. He's got his tail. And come in and add more little details to him. I might actually just run a bit of a fox's tail through with some white colour. So again, just where that cut detail is on the die. The little end bit. Take that off. And we'll perhaps give him a white tip to his tail. Let's stick that on now because that is definitely going to get lost otherwise. Little spot of glue on there. Let's bring in my sticky pick you up tool end. We'll add that in on the end of his tail. It's rather cute. Let's stick this bit on as well so we don't lose it. So we could come in and add a sort of harness to our reindeer, but I think this is not a working reindeer at the moment. He's not ready to go off with Father Christmas delivering presents. He's out in the wild, so I don't think he's going to have a harness on. Looking cute. I'm going to take my balmy blue ink and this little snowy stamp. They are very cute dies, aren't they? I've got a blog hop coming up where I needed to use a favourite from the July to December catalogue. Now, I don't do favourites very well of anything. I like lots of things, but actually this was one that caught my eye when the catalogue first came out, but as I haven't played with it up to now, it seemed a good choice. Let's just lay that. I haven't put a lot of glue sort of at the top because I want to tuck this other one in a minute. Let's just trim this off. We're not worried about the fact that we're losing our decal edge because this is going to be underneath our soft suede frame. Let's pop a bit of glue on there and let's just tuck that under there and have a bit of a wiggle with it until we're happy about where that is going to be positioned. Let's tuck a tree under there. So that is going to be coming sort of from out of the side of our frame. Just pop a few spots of glue on there to keep it in place. So that will be sort of tucking out from underneath our frame that way. Let's do the same with one on this side. I'm going to actually trim a bit off the bottom of that one because I want it to look as if it's sort of further away still, so I want it to be slightly shorter. Put some spots on there. Tuck that one down here. Just lay our frame over the top, looking quite cute. Now, where are we going to position our little fox? And our reindeer. I think what I'm going to do is take some mini dimensionals and raise these up a little bit. Now I'm going to concentrate the adhesive above where that glimmer paper is, because glimmer, sort of glittery, glimmery paper is notorious for getting things to stick to. Actually, we're not going to need to worry too much. He's stuck nicely there because the frame will cover his feet and hold him in place. Let's do the same with a couple of dimensionals on our little fox. And have him just there. And we'll put some dimensionals on there to add that frame when we add him in. We've got that Christmassy paper in the background. I think we might just go with that Merry Christmas. Or shall we have a Peace on Earth? They're looking quite a peaceful pair, aren't they? Slightly bigger block, I think. We'll upgrade to a B block. Just find ourselves a little bit of basic white and garden green ink. Just ink that up. Stamp that on there. Get my slightly bigger scissors. There's something crashing around in the background, isn't there? That's my box with my glimmer paper in. I've just knocked off my chair. Let's trim this. And I think possibly soft suede in the background there. Let's stick that on there. Let's trim up that deckled edge. Right, let's stick some of this down. Stick this, our canvas, in place. And I'm going to add some mini dimensionals to the back of our frame. And I think so, one in each corner, then we'll come in with some in the centre just to hold that nicely there. And hopefully we haven't got anything in the centre just there, so it won't interfere with any of our animals that are raised up. Right, is that it? Have we gone all the way around? Yes. Let's mind those antlers. So sort of caught down the feet underneath the frame, but the antlers are coming out a bit free over the top. It's very cute, isn't he? And we'll add on our Peace on Earth. Well, if we don't drop it on the floor. Again, I'm going to put the dimensionals towards the bottom so that that's stuck, but the top piece hasn't got any added dimensionals on it because that's already been raised up. How very cute. I'm actually going to come in with some of our pearlized enamel effect. Just add a few little pearly dots. So now I need to put that somewhere nice and safe to dry. So I don't squish them. But they're very cute, aren't they? So that is just using those dies to make a little picture frame. We will, of course, need an insert in this card. Let me just carefully put that to one side for a minute. Cut ourselves a bit of, I'm going to do 9.5 by 13.9. So yeah, it's quite nice to sort of, you can sort of add bits into your dies. You can, you know, mix and match, sort of paper piece almost. And that'd be quite fun, wouldn't it? A paper pieced reindeer. I wonder what paper we could use to paper piece him. Possibly the 6x6 paper stacks, perhaps. You could have a dotty reindeer, or I can't think what other shapes there are in that pack off the top of my head. Right, I'm going to come back in with this white card to this corner, pick up a bit more colour on my brush. Just going to add in this corner a bit of sponging. Let's add some random snowy bits. And then I am going to make sure that I'll get one out of there, will I? Oh, I might just, look at that, I might just sneak one out. Sneak a tree into this garden. Just thinking about those pearlized dots. I hope that you're not getting too much noise in the background. We've got some work going on in the street. With those pearlized dots, where have I put my little... There is a red one. So you could use your pearlized dots to have a little bit of a Rudolph thing going on. Give your reindeer a red nose. Let's just add this little tree in on here. And obviously then you could do a similar thing with your envelope, or there is it's a slightly larger tree stamp, but there is a tree stamp as well if you wanted to stamp rather than die cut. There we are, there's a little tree just there. Some Tombow on the back of here. And carefully, so as not to squidge. I seem to have managed to squidge one of the dots. I don't know how I did that. Let's add that in there. So a couple of those look as if they've been squidged. Without even trying, I managed to squidge them. Okay, so let's put that to one side for now. So we've got a cute little reindeer and his foxy friends. So that's using the die cuts. Let's have a little look at these stamps. Now, obviously, these are great for colouring. You can choose whether you're going to go stamping white markers, whether you're going to go watercolour. Got a little round stamp just here, look. getting some sort of to ground them under their hooves. Garden green. There, that was a garden green card base because the papers have got garden green in. So that's the painted Christmas papers. So it was garden green card base and trees. Glimmery snow, so the glimmer paper for the snow. So it's got a nice frosty effect to it. You could have cut his little bib bit from glimmer paper as well if you wanted a particularly bedazzling reindeer. Right, let's have a little look at these. Very cute. Got baubles on his horns. I think it's just the one horn that's got a bauble on. So if you didn't want a bauble on his horns, you could probably cut that off or even just very carefully mask it. And then the little line with the string from the bauble probably wouldn't be very noticeable. So if you didn't want quite such a festive reindeer, I'm going to cut this one to 13.9 by 9.5. I think we're going to go landscape again. And let's see, stamped, he'll come that way and he'll come that way. I think I might put my trees this side. In fact, have that reindeer in the background a little bit and this one a bit more in the forefront. So this one we will stamp and colour and die cut. As you can see, I've not put my stickers on the back of these yet. I will do at some point, but perhaps just not right now. Let's put that little round piece on that block so we don't lose it. We'll just about go on there, and he'll go on there as well. Right, okay. So let's go. Shaded spruce for my trees. Are you going to go on there? No, you're not. You're too tall. But you will go on there. You will, you will, you will. Let's ink up our trees. I'm taking that stamp slightly off the bottom, slightly off the side. So you have got their sort of outlines. They're not solid trees. You've got a bit of an outline there. Just going to come in with a blender pen and sort of tickle over the top of that. Just drag that colour out a bit. There we go. And there's some trees in the background. It's quite a nice sort of sketchy stamp, rather than the solid trees we have in some of the other stamps. So that's rather nice. Let's come in with some memento, I think. Let's go down the line that we're going to use our stamping blends. And the trouble is when you haven't got your sticker on. Imagining what this is going to look like on the other side. It's a bit wonky, but never mind. Then we'll take our other one and stamp him on another piece of card. So we could have attempted to mask them, but actually these are quite detailed, so I can't help feeling it is better to stamp them and die cut them. I've got one little reindeer there, got one here. What colours shall we have? Some plum cake, got some soft suede. Now these have got their rather lovely harnesses and things on. Picked out some nice bright colours, got some poppy parade there, got some granny apple green, some daffodil delight. Got an ivory here somewhere. Could get my sort of skin tony blends out, but let's just go with these for now. I'm going to give them some ivory antlers. And of course reindeer, although we sort of, when we think of Santa's reindeer and we talk about Rudolph and Blitzen and all of those, it is actually the female reindeer that keep their antlers during the winter and not the male reindeer. So if all of Santa's reindeer have got antlers, it is actually the girls that are doing the work of pulling the sleigh. I'll give a little bit of a pink nose going on there, I think. A little bit of petal pink. Some dark crumb cake here. I'm going to come in where the artist has added in this shading. Around that rump piece and round his tummy, or her tummy, as we now know to be the case. Let's come in round main piece just here, and I'll come in with the light crumb cake. Blend that out. There we are. Come around here. Again, blending that darker into that lighter. As you work it together, you see the magic appear. You see it sort of come together. What shall we have? Let's have a little bit of red around the outside here. These are all little jingly bells on here. And I think we'll have this red down here. And of course their nose. A bit of a tassel. We'll come in with dark Daffodil Delight and add in some yellow where those bells were. And let's come in with light Granny Apple Green. Over this piece just here. There's a nice bright little reindeer. Come in with our other reindeer. A little bit of petal pink in her ears. And let's come in. This is the dark crumb cake. I might actually consciously add in a bit more dark on this one, just so there's a slightly different tone of colour. Oh no, didn't want to do that really, but never mind, that we'll blend that all out when it comes to doing our saddle in a minute. I think I'll do dark crumb cake on that tail. Along these legs. So a bit darker. And then again, let's come in with a lighter and blend that out. To start with, you wonder if it is actually going to blend, but as the card becomes saturated with the alcohol, that's the point at which the magic happens. You have to be quite patient with it and continue to work it. Around here. Let's come round. Face just here. There we are. And then this one, I think, will come in. Okay, let's come round these little bells. We'll reverse the colouring on this one. Got some more bells along there. You could actually decide to have much more colour. You could do different colours for different bits. I'm just trying to keep it relatively simple. And let's come in with some Poppy Parade on this one. And then we'll blend that bit out just there, so it won't be quite so obvious that it's a big brown blob. Now I'm doing this quite quickly. Obviously, I often say you have more time. Let's put in some little yellow bells coming down here. And let's have a little red bauble on the end. The antler just there. And let's just move these out of the way for now. There's one reindeer, there's another reindeer. So this one I'm going to die cut. So I'm going to find the die that is going to cut out that image just there. Well, I would if I could find my other acrylic plates. There we go. Wiggle, wiggle. Right, so there we have a couple of reindeer. Now, looking very stark, the sky, so I do think I need to come in perhaps with a little bit of and just add in a bit of colour in the top there. Now, I am thinking I'll find what I'm looking for. I am just wondering, we've done some pearlized things. Got here the little snowball accents puff paint. Now, I've not tried this yet. Let's take a little bit of scrap card and just try it. So we've just got a thin line just there. To heat up. There we go. There it goes. And makes this snowy effect. That would be quite fun, wouldn't it? Let's add in some snowy fluff ball paint in this background. Try not to squidge it. So I'm going to put a little line down the back here, and then we'll have a couple of little splodges of it. Didn't want that to be quite such a big splodge. Just here. Let's heat that up. Actually, before we do that, let's add. We didn't want quite that big a splodge on there, did we? Just some little splodges to our tree as well. There it goes, puffy puffy. Now we have sort of a very 3D snowy puffy background. I think we'll add him in now. So that sort of gives that bit of a background. That's bottom bit has got a bit of sort of texture to it now. For our reindeer to stand on. Just come over this way slightly. I think we'll get a little. Let's just snip a little bit off the edge of here. Oh, losing a reindeer dye off the side, but that's okay. It's just gone into my tool tin, my tin of tools. How cute is that? A little snowy background. Snow on our trees. That needs a little bit more, not quite dry. Very cute. So now we need a sentiment on there. So perhaps we will go Merry Christmas on this one. Now let's be brave to start with, and we'll attempt to stamp it straight onto the perfect. Shall we have some snowy bits on here as well? I think so. And I think we'll go shaded spruce pine. Right, I've done this a sideways one, so I've cut my cardstock in half the other way, lengthwise, scored it in half again. Now, I'm thinking a black mat for that one. How well that's showing up, but yeah, I quite like that pop of black underneath there. Let us glue those in place. Going to put the lid on my snowy paint. You can see where the ink from the blends has bled through to the other side. That's why you never colour on your best oak dining table without having a mat of some sort underneath. Press that down without squishing my snow. That card base is a little bit on the wonky side. Before I stick that side down, let me just try and even that up a little bit. And I lift that off. Yes, that'll make it so much easier to straighten that up. That's better. Again, we don't want to squish our snow down as we're pushing that down. I think we can just take some good old basic rhinestones. I can find them. We've got some little ones in here. Let's just add in a few little sparkly rhinestones in amongst that snowy sky. One more for luck. Last but not least, again, we shall want an insert. Let's do similar to what we did before. We'll add in a bit of balmy blue. And then we'll come back in, and instead of die cutting, we'll stamp some trees. I'm just going to ink up that top bit because I'm not going to do the complete height of the tree. I'm just going to add in a little bit in the corner like that. And then manage to over stamp a little bit. So let's add in some snow. And stick that on the inside. So, Regal Reindeer. Got a lovely stamp set, fabulous set of dies that will coordinate with it, or you can just use the dies to cut out little reindeers and things of your own. And of course you can add in red noses for Rudolph as and when you see fit. So two very different looking reindeer cards, because one is just those detailed dies, die cut reindeer, and one is that stamped and coloured in imagery. So a real reindeers across the board, however you want them to look. You have both options. So really lovely stamp set and die bundle. So do, if you haven't already added that to your wish list, do make sure you do, because there's lots of fun to be had there. So thank you for joining me on this warm August day as we play with all things Christmassy, as is our wont to do in the card making world. As soon as it hits the heights of summer, we're thinking Christmas. But yeah, so it was lovely to be playing with those today. So have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Don't hesitate to ask questions, to get in touch if there's anything that you want to know, if I can help you in any way with your shopping, with hosting events, or with joining the family. And of course, we are still in celebration, so a fabulous time to do all of those things. Don't hesitate to get in touch if there's any way that I can help you. Have a fabulous weekend. I've got an all-day class tomorrow where we're going to be doing all things seasidey, all at sea. So that's fun. Got that to look forward to tomorrow. And we'll be back on Monday to play with something else. So have a fabulous weekend. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.